Everyone's seen the video that made national headlines with the alleged Venezuelan gang in these apartments off of 12th and Dallas in Aurora, off of East Colfax, right? I'm watching an interview with Derek Wolfe, Super Bowl champion, former Denver Bronco, who interviewed Danielle Jurinsky, who is Aurora City Councilwoman. Danielle's been very outgoing and has been speaking her mind on this whole situation a lot, given her place in Aurora politics. So yeah, she goes on this podcast and kind of gives the backstory behind the viral video. Basically, the news contacted her, Fox News contacted her with this video of the alleged Venezuelan gang members walking upstairs with the big guns, and the news reaches out to her. She reaches out to the family, the Romeros, who took that video and gave it to the news. And after about a week, Danielle helped move them out, and then they released the video to the news and made national headlines. I mean, it was everywhere. Fox, CNN, NBC, any major national news platform posted it. So, everyone remembers that in August. Everyone was talking about it. So I make this post after watching that interview of her explain the backstory. And in the post, Cross Promotions 23 commented, "The bullets was a lot. I was there sleeping in the bed. Sounded like large fireworks going off. LOL, I was like, TF, laugh my effing ass off. But everyone got problems, not just them. One group of people doesn't make an entire portion of people." And that comment caught my eye. I was like, huh. And I know I've known, Cody for a couple years now. He's involved with the hip hop scene out here. He is a dope R&B artist he's managing. Shout Mike's Paradise. You can go check them out. I seen that comment. I messaged him and I'm like, hey, can you tell me a little bit more about your story? I didn't know he lived in those apartments and he actually heard all this that was going on. Basically, that's where this interview comes in. We meet up and he basically just kind of breaks down what happened from his perspective that night. He didn't necessarily see it, but he heard what was going on. And he explained that Danielle may have helped move him out or at least transfer leases to a different apartment complex in Denver. So Cody, he agrees to doing this interview. I basically just told him, hey, I don't have a narrative I'm trying to push in this. I don't care if you're Democrat, Republican. I just want to hear your truth, your perspective, given the fact that you have boots on the ground, you've seen this with your own eyes, you lived at these apartments, like, what's your perspective? That's really the whole point of this interview. And he kind of just breaks down his story, so that's really it. I just wanted to give a little backstory before you watch this interview so you kind of understand why I'm doing this interview. And I feel like it was an interesting perspective. Cody, he does security work in the Denver metro area. And, just take a watch and let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Minute #1 blog in the universe, man. Today we got Cody Cross Promotions, one of the top managers in the Mile High City, man. How's everything going?
It's going good. Just another good day in the Mile High City, you know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir. So basically we tapped in, bro. I kind of just want him to explain his perspective on the whole situation that's going on with the alleged Venezuelan gangs in Denver and stuff like that. Don't really want to go left or right wing. Don't really care, don't have a narrative. I just want him to give his opinion on everything and speak his truth. So you originally from Alabama, correct?
Right, yeah, Birmingham, the Ham.
Okay, and then you moved to Denver?
Yeah, I moved to Denver 3 years ago.
Okay, what brought you to Denver?
Well, the money's different up here. Where I'm from, the minimum wage is $7.25 an hour. Versus up here, it's like almost $19 an hour, so it's like a no-brainer.
Yeah.
I originally wanted to move out here a couple years ago, obviously for cannabis, because I smoke a lot of weed. But, that was me and my exes kind of thing. We loved smoking and just chilling. I think just like every couple out here does. That's originally how I got out here, was just chilling, better money, got into doing like more security work out here. So.
Right. And then so you moved. The reason this interest piqued me is I made a post this morning about Danielle Jurinsky, giving her perspective on the whole, migrant situation with the apartments off 12th and Dallas, and how basically that video went viral and whoop-de-whoop, this, that, and the third. So you actually lived in those apartments off 12th and Dallas, correct?
Yeah, I used to live at the very end. They call them the nice ones because they were like remodeled, but we had been living over there for like 3 years.
Yeah.
2 years. I just moved here because it's really new.
Yeah. Okay.
A lot of issues over there. It's ran by the same management, so you know it's kind of crazy, but it's a little interesting. That's the dude that got beat up the other day.
What is that? So basically, you moved out here, and originally you lived at the apartments off 12th and Dallas.
Right.
It's always been a pretty known hood area in Aurora in Colorado, right? It's right off East Colfax.
At least that's what they say.
Right, it's right off East Colfax, but...
Right, anything off of Colfax is what they say, I think, out here. I'm not really for sure. I just go with what they say at this point. I don't really know what is... You know, a lot of people consider, like, Sheridan area a big hood area.
Yeah.
You know, Park Hill. You know, a lot of those different places. But I'm not really for sure. Like I said, I'm not from here originally. So it's like...
Right.
You know, you got a lot of older people here that be like, oh, well, they gentrified a lot of things.
So you were living in Dallas Street. Everything was pretty normal for the most part. I mean, you'd hear the occasional shooting, but it wasn't like crazy.
Right, it'd be like 30 seconds and then like everything go back to normal. You know what I'm saying? Like,
so break down that night from your perspective. What you heard, how was it, what was going through your mind, just, you know, from the beginning to the end, basically.
I mean, it's kind of bland, I feel like, but to me it sounded like a bunch of fireworks going off, like, but like very big fireworks, you know what I'm saying? And so anyway, what ended up happening from there, we ended up laying down. Well, I was laying down when it happened, and I guess the bullet hit the window, and I was like, oh shit, what's going on?
You were sleeping or you were...
Yeah, well, I was like almost asleep, you know what I'm saying? You know how it's like
late.
you're almost there, and then it's like, oh shit.
Yeah.
Then it was like, from there, I like grabbed my strap, you know, because I was like, I don't know what's fixing to happen, you know what I'm saying? And then like you got all this shit going on outside. So we were on the bottom floor, so I look outside, and everybody's just kind of like, all of them like took off. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what was going on or what it was about, but...
So you looked out the window and you didn't see no one? Everyone just bounced?
Yeah, it was just people like running around. And,
oh, shit. You were bold for even looking out the window. I'd be scared.
I mean, you know, you got... I mean, I feel like that, but
at the same time, you're like, what the is going on?
Yeah, I got to see what's going on, you know what I'm saying? So anyway, I'm looking outside, and I'm looking, and anyway, I call my homeboy. I'm like, hey, man, I don't know what happened, but that shit was abnormal. You know what I'm saying? Like, this was no 30-second shooting this time, you know what I'm saying? It was like 5 minutes, kind of, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
And so anyway, I went back to sleep. I woke up the next day.
It was a long, people going back and forth probably, is what it sounded like.
Yeah, it was probably like some people like arguing and shit at first, but like
crazy.
in Spanish, you know?
Yeah.
And obviously I don't speak Spanish, so I don't understand. But then from there, I went back to sleep. Well, anyway, when I woke up, there was like DEA was out there, the police was out there. Yeah, so I'm talking the whole block was blocked off. They had blocked it off for like, I guess the dude said like 7 hours, and somebody had died, and I don't even know where they came from though, you know what I'm saying? But there was like bullets in everybody's car, and I'm not talking no small bullet, I'm talking like big AR, you know what I'm saying, like AR, like
Shark
50 caliber type shit. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, damn. So from there, that kind of surprised me.
What changed from when you first moved in to that situation?
I think they made they were more lenient on letting people into the apartments. At one time, I was told that they were giving like landlords grants and stuff like that to let people in and let the Venezuelans in and stuff like that. But you know, they were never. To me, they're not that bad, so it's kind of like...
a pocket of people may give the black eye to everyone type thing.
Right, exactly. Yeah. And that's what I kind of like to think about. I mean, everybody's got a bad group of people. It's just, you know, obviously, that's the tow truck. Yeah. This dude, he's a worker, man. He be going... I don't know who he works for, but
he be hauling ass.
Yeah. I don't think he works for CHY Towing, but...
Yeah. You don't think so? Why not?
Well, I don't know exactly how that market works, but a lot of these people, they buy and sell cars back here. So they're very big into the car flipping.
Oh, okay.
They call it.
Hey, you gotta figure out something, right?
Whether it be legal or not, you know what I'm saying?
You don't know.
I did have a car 2 days ago, and then it got stolen.
From here?
Yeah, that's why I was like, oh, your car's cool, because it was at night that it happened. But
Yeah.
they ended up finding it this morning, and it was like 3 blocks away. And
Really?
trashed. The front bumper's gone.
Do you get insurance or anything on it?
Yeah, I got full coverage.
All right. Well, that's good at least. So when that shooting happened, it wasn't on the news yet, right? I think she said it didn't go viral on the news for a while.
Nah, it probably was like a week or two later.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? We were having issues on the inside of the house too, though. I think that some of it is kind of, a lot of people want to blame it on like the politics, you know what I'm saying? But I think it's kind of hand in hand. I mean,
Yeah.
you know, look at the places where they're living or going to, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Your average place is not, you know, like here it costs $1,300 to live here, $1,400. I think a 2-bedroom here is like $1,600.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
Denver prices, man, especially with this new Ballreen development, which I'm like, it's dope for the city, but it's like, you know, it's gonna hike the prices even more.
Right. Well, I kind of, you got to pay to play is what I tell people.
Right.
And Denver is a market that's probably always going to increase over time.
Yeah.
They said that you got to be like in the top 20%, I think, to live in Denver.
Right.
I'm not really for sure how that really works, but at least what I will say is the city does go up every year, whether it be a little bit or not. It's based off the cost of living. So.
Right. Okay. When that happens, were you kind of in a hurry to move out, or like what ended up happening, like from that situation? And were you still living there when the news broke?
Yeah, everything.
Oh,
yeah,
shit.
I mean, it was crazy. We had like YouTubers that we had never even heard of coming over there, and
Yeah, I drove by there, but I didn't get out or anything. I should have hit you up. But
yeah, I mean, it's cool, man.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Right in the heat of everything, there was like reporters everywhere.
Yeah.
News was there every day, and then it just kind of like, to me, it kind of blew up as like a political thing. You know what I'm
Right,
saying? It was no
right.
longer about the issue. It was like, oh, Republican, Democrat
Right.
kind of thing. You know what I'm saying? I'm just like, man, I'm being honest. You know what I'm saying? Both choices ain't looking too good.
Right.
You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying?
There's rights and wrongs on
Right.
both sides, the way I look at it.
Right, exactly. To me, I'm just like, who gets the job done? You know what
Right.
I'm saying? That's how I look at things. But over there, then after that, they started doing this thing. Like the whole community came together and was like, oh, don't, because of what happened at Nome Street. The same company owns all these properties. Though.
Right.
That's what's so crazy.
And they've came out on Twitter and you know, spoke against it, basically showing rent rolls and like I looked at the rent roll. It went from like I think 50 to 60,000 a month to like 3,000, like something crazy. I was like, wow. I'll show the stats on it.
They own 7 different. They came out with a list of properties that they own.
Yeah.
The guy that I talked to, he doesn't he doesn't even say that he's the owner, but when you go to court, he's the owner.
Yeah.
So
have you seen? Are you on Twitter at all or X?
I'm on everything.
Yeah. Have you seen the X account that's came out, the CBZ property one?
No.
Okay.
I don't know. I try not to like really pay attention to that.
To the political stuff.
Yeah, I just kind of like do my job and keep it maintaining and keep it moving, kind of thing.
Yeah. How'd you end up moving out? Were you like in a hurry to move out? Were you kind of just like,
Well, the
I need to get out
Republican
here?
lady
What was
thought that we were crazy. She was like, "Your apartment complex is full of what do they call them? Trend
TDA
or whatever."
Yeah.
And I was like, well, "They don't seem bad to me." You know what I'm saying? I was like, they just keep asking us for water and for money, you know what I'm saying? So it wasn't really that bad to me. There wasn't bad people.
Yeah.
And that's why I say, like, in the video, it just looks like they're, like, looking for somebody and not, like, trying to hurt somebody.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like, they were saying, like, they were, like, renting them out and people were walking around with ARs. That shit's bullshit. You know what I'm saying? It's not, to me, that's not really what happened. Now, the last night we were there, or when my boy was there, he said that he heard some shit going on out there that was abnormal, but like I feel like the place kind of increased into more violence with all the chaos going on because they made it a big deal. You know
Really?
what I'm saying? Yeah, I do think that the violence increased. Like they say, like when you go over there now, it's like shootings every day now, but it never was like that. It never was like long-term kind of thing, you know what I'm saying? That's why we lived over there. It was so quiet for 2.5 years.
Did she move you out or what happened?
Yeah, so we got on the phone and she was like, oh, we need to get you out of there as soon as possible. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, All right, well, they got AC over there because we didn't have air conditioning where I lived.
Right.
And we had a lot of, like, problems going on with the sewer over there, and it was just a lot of maintenance problems that wasn't getting taken care of. So I was like, oh, well, is everything functioning? You know what I'm saying? Like, can I have heat? Do I have AC? You know, basic shit is what I call it.
Right.
So yeah, they moved me over here like a week later, and well, they didn't move me. Well, they transferred my lease over, and then they tried to charge me for the first month.
Oh, okay.
Like I was like getting charged again for the deposit, which is kind of weird.
Wild, yeah.
Even though I had already paid the deposit to the same company, just a different apartment complex.
Yeah.
Owned by the same people.
Was it? Are these apartments a little nicer, or what?
Yeah, I think my apartments. They think that my place is obviously the nicest. I got it looks like a 2-bedroom almost, but it's a 1-bedroom.
Yeah.
It's a real nice little bachelor spot. You know what I'm saying? I think it's how you take care of your stuff. It's how you live. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, it's not bad.
So, would you say you've befriended the Venezuelan community out here, or what?
I think most
because you're security here, right?
Yeah.
Right. Okay. So, do you want to talk about that a little bit, your experience here, and break that down a little bit?
Well, I don't think they understand American society and how things work.
Yeah.
So, you know, to kind of create a peaceful place of mind for everybody, you know, at first when I got here, they were playing loud music till 5 o'clock in the morning. They would leave trash everywhere, and they would just, it was crazy. So what I did was, you know, I use Google Translate a lot, and I'll be like, hey, this is what's going on. You know, it's kind of disrespectful past 10 o'clock for you to be playing loud music.
Right.
The residents here have definitely enjoyed being able to go back to sleep,
right.
I feel like.
So it's not all Venezuelans here.
No.
There's people that have been in America for a while that live here too.
Right. We just have a bunch of crackheads.
So, but like you said, it just took them a little bit to adapt to American society. And would you say you've kind of tried to communicate with them and make it a little, I don't know if I want to say easier, but just try to make them understand
how things work over here.
Yeah,
because they don't understand that. I think that we are failing letting them know how things work over here, whether it be good or bad. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I think that we have to teach them how things work over here. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. Have you noticed them start to improve?
Dramatically.
Okay.
You know, like I say, I usually tell a lot of apartments in like Aurora and things like that when I'm trying to pick up contracts with my security business.
Yeah.
I tell them it takes probably about 3 weeks to a month to try to like sort it out, because you have to tell them how things work, and if they don't listen, then there is like a level system that I use.
Right.
Obviously, you know what I'm saying? Now the police, they're not really responsive, so you have to kind of like, you got to brainstorm a lot. On how to deal with certain issues
to like mitigate them, I suppose you'd say.
Exactly. Or like figure out a middle ground for them to understand.
Yeah.
Because they will be quick to like draw a weapon or like be on some crazy shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because they're very protective of their families.
Right.
Which they got a reason to. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I mean, overall, I think we just have to teach them how things work over here. I think the system is kind of flawed, and the reason being is because they literally just get on the app and come over here and. You know, I was talking to somebody the other day, and they thought that their perspective was kind of crazy in my mind, but they said that they thought that when they came to America, they would find money all over the ground. That's what they're...
Really?
Yeah.
Because, like it just grows on trees?
Right, exactly. Yeah. And I was like, really? And
what do they say? What is their perspective on America and stuff?
Well, they think that they're scared because they don't know what's going to happen with the presidency kind of term. They don't they can't find jobs because they have a hard time getting a worker's permit to be able to work over here.
Yeah.
So in a lot of ways, I feel like we're failing them in a certain type of way because we're supposed to be the American dream.
Right.
And so in a way, we just don't have the proper procedures put in place for these people because they're coming by thousands. And so it's a lot for us to be able to handle at one time.
Yeah.
And I don't think that Denver was necessarily like ready to handle that because we were dealing with like, we had just got out the pandemic. Then after the pandemic, you got the fentanyl crisis going on.
Yeah.
Then after that, you know, we got this Venezuelan issue. So it's like, one thing after another, because if you remember downtown, there used to be tents everywhere.
Right.
So there was a huge tent problem.
Right, the homeless downtown.
Right. So
we're known to have pretty bad homeless situation out here. Another I don't know if I want to say conspiracy, maybe misconception, whatever, is that like a lot of Venezuelans, people say, come out here and like they can vote pretty fast. Have they spoke about that at all? Like them being able to vote at all, or their voting rights or anything like that?
I don't think that. I mean, I've never talked to him about that. That's a good perspective to think about.
Yeah.
I don't think you can though, unless you have the like maybe a legal way to work. Me personally, I think you have to be a citizen to vote. So I have no idea how that typically works on an immigration kind of level, but I can see where they could like possibly have a say, but not if they can't even go to work. Like, how are you gonna vote but not be able to work? You know what I'm saying?
Right,
So
right.
I don't know. That's a good question though. I would definitely like to ask somebody that.
You move from Dallas Street, you come here. What's your outlook on what we need to do, whether you're a Democrat or Republican, whatever, like just what you think we need to do with this situation and how can we improve as a city and stuff like that?
I think that's a tough question, and the reason being is because we have so many things going on at one time, and here in Denver we're kind of like spread out with a lot of the beliefs around here, you know what I'm saying? With what people want to support and what they don't want to support. So I think that's a great question, but I think it ultimately starts with finding a way to get these people to work, because they're just like me and you, where they have to provide an income for their family. They have to, a lot of people are going to argue, well, they're taking our jobs, and that's everywhere, you know what I'm saying? To me, that's just political bullshit.
Right.
But when it comes towards anything like immigration, we have to be able to develop a system where people can actually afford to pay their rent. Otherwise, we're going to end up in a whole other homeless crisis that Denver is already trying to figure out themselves.
Right.
So it's kind of like to me, it's like they're shooting themselves in the foot. So I think that's the first step for a lot of these people out here, so that they can take care of their families.
Okay. How should the I guess violence of the gang part of it be handled from your perspective? Because although yes, there are a lot of, I'm sure most of the people are amazing people, great people, they got good morals, they're just coming over here, they want the American dream, they want to take care of their family, they're getting away from Venezuela. Have they told you why they've gotten away from Venezuela or anything?
Because the president is corrupt. See, what happened is, and I saw the video where like 100-pack Savvy was out there.
Yeah.
All that stuff was going on.
I posted it.
Nigga, they cracking off in the air and everything. They driving over the... Nigga, we almost just got hit. Bro, these niggas is on bullshit. I'm trying to...
Right, yeah. I believe what was going on is... I'll have to check the date, but I'm pretty sure that was like the election day that they was having over there.
Right, yeah. No, they said that, yeah.
And what was going on is they got upset that the president that they wanted to come in didn't get it because he's so corrupt.
Yeah, the one that's been staying in, supposedly?
Right, yeah.
How long's he been there, do you know?
No, I'm not.
I have to look into it.
Really know, but I know that, I know they say that he's very corrupt, and I think some of the issues, too, come from, like, jobs over there, too, because, I mean, when Donald Trump was in office the first time, he quit, the United States quit taking oil from Venezuela. They told me that there's over 300, it's either 300 or 300 million gas reserves, like oil reserves in Venezuela alone.
Yeah.
But the United States quit taking oil from Venezuela.
Do you know why?
Well, I think it has something to do with, like, our biggest ally is Saudi Arabia, you know what I'm saying? So a lot of our oil and things like that come from the Middle East, you know what I'm saying? Which, that's a whole nother politics.
Right. I'm assuming they probably don't want Trump to come into office, if you've talked to them.
They definitely do not want Trump.
Okay.
They definitely don't want Trump in office. I can tell you that right now.
Yeah.
They have...
Do you think that's because of the American media, or is that maybe Venezuelan media, or just because of what Trump has said?
Donald Trump talks too much.
Yeah.
I don't think... that's what I think. Me, personally, I think he just talks too much. He was able to get a lot done, but...
From an economic standpoint, yeah.
But, I just think he talks too much. Well, I think that when it comes to Donald Trump, I think he just talks too much. He's able to get a lot done, but he just talks too much. That's entirely what it is.
Is there any of them that happen to like Trump or nah, none of them?
I don't know, because, I've talked to some people in the past where they're like, oh, yeah, I can't wait for Trump. But they're more like people that are legal here and people that got jobs and things like that.
And they're Venezuelan or those?
Right, yeah.
Wow.
Versus like people that are here and just waiting on their citizenship, you know what I'm saying?
They're more,
Yeah, they're like, that. I don't know, whatever that deal with.
Okay, so what about like the other Latin communities here, like maybe, the Mexicans or Colombians? Because I've heard that it's not just Venezuelans, you got other people coming. Even, I know Haitians were more in Ohio supposedly and all that stuff.
Florida.
Like, have you seen any other communities? Is it mostly Venezuelans, or like have you talked
here
to?
It's the Venezuelans, because they came on a bus. That's how that happened. They all came and they came downtown for the longest time, and which was kind of interesting because recently they've been sending the buses to like Kamala Harris's like house. But
Really?
Right, yeah, you have to look at that. It's pretty crazy. But
they're like busing from, you said South
like
Mexico,
Texas. And,
do they just pay for these buses from out of country to cross the border?
Well, they tell me that they walk.
Cross the border.
Yeah, like 1,000 miles they walk, and they show me videos of them like walking hella far,
like through like jungles and shit, or what?
like through. They're walking not through jungles, but like you could definitely see like dirt roads that they be walking around.
Yeah.
You can see, people around. It's cool because they like, sometimes it looks like they're having a good time. Like they're at like a place that is like a lake sometimes where they take a break at, and then like there's certain people I'm sure that like pick them up, and because I have asked like, hey, do y'all just like, I get curious myself, so I've asked them, I'm like, did the coyotes like bring you guys here? And they're like, no. Like if you tell them, like you say, did a coyote?
What are coyotes?
Those are people that like, what I'm saying, they're like trafficking over here. Yeah.
So they take buses up to somewhere in Mexico, and then they walk across the border somehow,
Right.
and it's like thousands of miles. And
Right. At least that's what they say.
what motivates them to do it? I guess I know it's the American dream, but like that seems like a treacherous.
Right. Like a very shit. I'm fat. So.
Walking that far.
Right. Yeah. I would say. Well, I think they believe that it's a big change here. I think when they first got here, they thought that it was going to be a big difference and that they was going to be able to get jobs automatically. And I think that they thought that they were going to be able to, come and make a different life. You know what I'm saying? Versus what it is right now, where there's just like so many stops in the system to where it's like, oh, I can't go work. I can't, you know what I'm saying? I can't provide for my family kind of thing. So, which I understand too. I mean, everybody's got to provide. So.
Right. Okay. Is there anything else you want to speak on as far as the community before we get into you just kind of promoting your own stuff and where to find you at and stuff like that?
Well, I think the community needs to come together.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Whether it be, Venezuelans or Mexicans or African Americans, I think everybody needs to learn how to come together and just be able to peacefully do things. You know what I'm saying? If I could say that.
Yeah.
I think we need to be able to help one another whenever there's, things going on. I come from like a southern state, but I mean, we always talk about like southern hospitality, but a lot of people don't really understand what that's like down there versus like here, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
So I try to provide that to everywhere I go based off of where I'm from. So, and I try to be mean.
Do you ever feel like scared living here, or did you feel scared living at the Dallas apartments?
No, I'm not scared pretty much in a lot of places. In my personal belief, I'm not supposed to be scared to die. You know what I'm saying? Death is just like a thing that naturally happens. You know what I'm saying? Whether it happens in a bad way or a good way, you know what I'm saying? So to me, it's going to happen one way or another. That's why I'm not really like necessarily worried about it. Regardless, it's going to happen. Death is inevitable. So.
What is your opinion on the media's take on the whole crisis and everything? Whether it be the left side or the right side, like what's your opinion on that?
They need to relax. I think they need to. I think that after this political year, we'll see things like decrease by a lot.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, with it being a political year, I believe that's why it's like so big. Everybody's like, hey, we gotta, enforce this, we gotta do this, we gotta do that, and I'm just like,
Right.
man, that's why I can't wait.
Me too.
Whatever
Yeah.
happens, it's like
It's
over with. It's you know what I'm saying. To me, it's like,
Right.
you know, I think we'll go through a period of time. You know, obviously the transition of power I think will be interesting. I do think that we'll see something crazy happen between there like we did last time.
Yeah.
I don't know if like on that level, but I think that I have talked to people about like what's going to happen. You know, if like Donald Trump comes in office, they said that they're going to leave and go to another country.
Really?
Yeah.
What country?
I have no idea. I didn't ask what country, but they probably would. I don't know. If it was me, I'd probably go to like South America or something.
Like Mexico or something?
Yeah.
You think Trump will win, or who do you think will win? Unbiased, like who's your... Not necessarily who you want to win, but who do you think will probably win?
Who do I think will win?
Yeah.
Well, based off me, I'm one of those people. I do like pay attention to what's going on.
Yeah.
I mean, I hate to say it, but I don't know if I hate to say it, but I think that Donald Trump does end up winning, and the reason being is I would say that he ends up winning because the one thing that the United States was founded off of was like God, country, and even the military would say that it's like God, country, family, and I think that when it comes down to that, Donald Trump pretty much has that pretty much in place as far as like the belief, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Versus like Kamala, I think she grew up like Hinduism or like Hindu or something they were saying or something, and the other day she tried to like downplay it or something. I think that I think she did great in the debate, obviously, but I think after that things just have kind of like gone downhill. She's lost, what do they call them, where they like vouch for them or something? What is that?
Like supporters?
Yeah,
like for example, like Elon Musk supports Trump.
Right, exactly. You know what I'm saying? I do think that Elon Musk is doing a lot.
He's doing a lot.
Yeah, that dude wants Donald Trump definitely to win for sure.
Which is surprising because he used to be liberal, very liberal.
Well, he used to talk crazy about Donald Trump too at one time. So it was like, okay, this is interesting. And then like the one thing I have seen that is kind of the reason I think it plays in Trump's favor is because for the longest time he was talking about how are we going to he could end the Russian and the war that's going on.
Oh, Ukraine?
Yeah, with Ukraine.
Oh, and he's saying I'm going to end it right away.
I can end it in a day. That's what he said. And so when the Ukraine president came to meet with Donald Trump like a month ago, he was like, it sounded optimistic. I was like, for like a year they was like, oh, that's never going to happen. But then as we get closer to time, it's like we're coming to some real critical factors that play a key piece in that.
What was your opinion when Trump came here? Did you go to that rally, or did you have an opinion on that rally?
Yeah, I got tickets to go. I just woke up late.
Yeah.
I was going to go. I wanted to go, but
You seem very neutral.
Yeah, I try to stay neutral. Yeah. I think that's the best thing to do in anything. I just want somebody that's going to get the job done. You know what I'm saying? Like, I will give Donald Trump his credit as far as him being able to, like, lower gas down to, like, almost 99 cents at one time. It was, like, $1.18 where I lived. You know what I'm saying? Crazy. I don't know what it was here.
In Alabama?
In Tennessee, it was, like, $1.18.
Yeah.
And that was the lowest. $1.07, I think, is what it was. And I was like, wow, we're really going to see gas back at 99 cents.
That was crazy, yeah.
And I do think he was able to get a lot done. I think the wall thing was a little too... Extreme? Yeah. Oh, yeah, we're going to... Because to me, it's like, we're going to make them pay for a wall that they don't even want to do anything with.
Right.
So it's like... To me, it was like, oh, we're going to force another country to pay for a wall. Okay.
It makes sense.
Right. Let's make it make sense.
If we're,
you know what I'm saying?
We're going to build a wall, we're going to pay for it.
Right, yeah. It's going to come from our taxpayer dollars.
Right. Okay.
So, I guess it just plays a factor, what's going to happen.
Yeah. Have you heard any, like, gunshots or shootings out here? Like, maybe not necessarily in these apartments, but just, like, living out here? Have you heard anything crazy?
In Colorado?
No, just since you moved from Dallas over here, have you heard anything crazy?
Crazy? No.
It seems pretty diverse. I mean, community over here.
I think you have your normal drama shit going on, you know what I'm saying? It's normal everyday stuff. I don't want to say there's like no shootings over here, but I haven't heard anything, you know what I'm saying? It's pretty quiet over here.
One thing I want to ask too is I drove by the Dallas Street Apartments, the Whispering Pines one, which is I want to say a little deeper East Colfax in Aurora, and then the Nome Street ones were already shut down when I drove by. But the Whispering Pine ones, supposedly there's like a news platform, I think it's CBS, put out talking about like either the security dude or one of the dudes got beat up or something, and that they were like starting to force tenants to pay rent to the Venezuelans. Have you seen any sign of that as far as just like the Venezuelans trying to take over rents and stuff like
They tried
that?
to do that to the manager.
Manager? Okay.
Yeah, that was the manager that got
Property
beat
manager?
up. That's what they said. His name was Renato. And which is kind of interesting because he's the one that sent the damn video to the news of those people like kicking in the door and shit.
Okay.
And the way I look at it is, I mean, I could see where that was going on over at Dallas. You know what I'm saying? Because right after we left, they were like, "Can we take over your apartment?" You know what I'm saying? But
when you say they,
the Venezuelans, yeah. But they like asked us. They didn't like take it over. You know what I'm saying? And obviously we were like,
well, you're leaving, so
we're leaving, but whatever, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So at that point, when our name was off the lease of that area, you know what I'm saying? It's like, oh, well, you can do whatever you want to do at that point, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I just went by there like a week ago.
You think they'll shut it down?
I think that I don't see why they haven't shut it down. And the reason being is because there's so many issues with some of these properties. And it costs a lot of money to deal with all the issues they got. You know, they got drywall coming down in some of them. You got super big mold issues. To me, it's not like really living situations.
Livable.
You know what I'm saying? But where I live, it's perfect. You know what I'm saying? As far as like, it's kind of crazy because like they say that we have a roach problem here, but I haven't even had one in my house, which everybody be like, oh, well, you're lucky. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But I think it's also how you keep up with yourself. You know what I'm saying? I think that plays a big part. Like even when I first heard that when I moved in, I took the certain precautions of, you know, going out and buying products that wouldn't
kill the roaches or whatever.
Yeah, exactly. You know what I'm saying? I took that kind of precautionary thing because you don't know what's going to happen when you first move into a place. You're like, you think it's going to be cool and shit, but then anything can happen. So, but a lot of those places, they have their own problems. And I will say that I don't know if the owners really got the money. I think he's kind of...
Because I've seen the owners, they came out on X and they've been very, just trying to, you know, speak their truth and their opinion on like, hey, there is, you know, a problem going on. It's not necessarily just us being slumlords or whatever, you know what I'm saying?
Well, I think that they have put a lot of money into this place.
Yeah.
Like to remodel it on the inside, and they're actually taking, you know, with me doing security and stuff, they actually do listen to what I say and what we should like fix and how we should fix it and the best way of fixing it is.
Yeah.
I will say they try to like have like a million quotes, but you know, other than that, that's, you know, that's the biggest issue. They want like, you know, I think they just make the job a little harder than what it is. But I mean, I deal with that even before I did security work. You know, I used to do like insurance and stuff. And people want to get, you know, 30 different quotes before just to find the right price, you know what I'm saying? So.
All right. All right. Well, is there anything you want to, last minute things you want to speak on, shout out, stuff like that?
Shout out Mike's Paradise, you know what I'm saying? November 12th, all platforms, Misunderstood. Got the show coming on this weekend too. Nick Lavelle, Halloween concert and party. So make sure you come out there, bring your friends. Got $500 costume party contest going on. You know, make sure you stay up to date with Mile High Minute.
Appreciate it.
You know, I think he's doing a lot of big things in the city, and I think he's good for the city. You know what I'm saying? I think we need somebody like Mile High Minute. We just need to prop his platform up a little bit more and be more supportive.
Much love, man. Make sure y'all hit that like button, comment down below your thoughts. Hit that subscribe button, hit that bell button, stay notified when all these news drops.
Exactly.
Shout out Cody, man. I appreciate you for coming on and telling your story. Make sure y'all go follow him on everything. Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube. All that links be in the description.
Cross Promotions 23.
Yep. Mile High Minute, #1 blog.